Yeah, this next segment is brought to you by Skylight. Say goodbye to sticky notes, scribbled plans on the fridge, and overlapping calendar invites. The Skylight calendar is here to bring clarity to the chaos and help families stay organized with the stress. The sleek digital display syncs with your existing calendars, Google, Apple, Outlook, and more, making it simple to track appointments, practices, dinners, and reminders all in one easy-to-see place. I use it for me and my children. Everybody has their own color code, so everybody knows exactly what they need to do. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/NFL. Go to skylightcal.com/NFL for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's skylightcal.com/NFL.
Guys, this is becoming a routine story with the Browns, a player in trouble. Linebacker Devin Bush, who the Browns picked up off the scrap heap last year, they re-signed him this season, has been charged with simple assault. I don't know why they call it simple assault. According to a police report, a woman who identified herself as Bush's girlfriend says Bush assaulted her and took her keys. The two got into an argument that resulted in Bush allegedly becoming more aggressive. According to the complaint, as the woman began to record the argument on her cell phone, Bush chased her around the home in an attempt to get the phone. She said she was pinned against a massage table in an office and that Bush put his full body weight on top of her before taking the phone and smashing it. The woman left with her daughter to a neighbor's home. According to the complaint, police discovered cuts on the inside of the girlfriend's wrist and outside her right foot, as well as smashed pieces of the cell phone. Bush admitted to smashing the phone but denied getting physical. Preliminary hearing scheduled Allegheny Court on May 20th. I'm not interested in. I'd cut Devin Bush if I would just cut him. What are we doing here?
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do that.
I'm so sick of this.
They didn't do it with Mike Hall. The Mike Hall stuff was the allegations were way heavier than this.
Teams just don't care. I know nobody cares. I know there's all kinds of terrible things going on in the world.
I don't want to minimize what happened. That probably came out wrong the way I said that, but those allegations against Mike Hall were gruesome at first.
Right.
Yes, some of it got retracted. You can argue why that was.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get into the logistics of that. Yeah. But
if this happened, then just move on. But the teams don't care. And for years, I was just like, I felt this way. Like, I don't want to deal with guys like this. And then I stopped doing that. And I was like, all right, whatever. Nobody's a choir boy. Our politicians are all crooked. These people are all crooked. Why do we only have to care about athletes? And so I got over that. And now I'm sick of it again because the Browns keep taking guys like this, and it hasn't led to winning. So, I don't know. Yeah. I think if Devin Bush did it, he's not a good enough player. The juice ain't worth the squeeze with him, so I'd cut him. But whatever.
It's hard to, contextualize what happened versus, in the football perspective and where the line should be drawn in the sand. They just drafted Schlesinger. I like Diabate. They brought Jordan Hicks back, right? Jordan Hicks is still around. Correct?
Now. I think so.
JOK may or may not be there.
Yeah.
Devin Bush, maybe their fourth linebacker this year, third, fourth. I'm just not putting up with that for a second string, a special teamer on a team that has a projected win total of 4.5 wins.
Just don't put your hands on women. What is wrong with people?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. I mean, again, we want to make sure the story's true as best you can, but I'm sure the police know what the truth is or have a pretty good idea of what the truth is in this situation.
He admitted to smashing the phone, so...
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody's all uptight about this conversation. It's tough. You never know what to do. Should it matter? It's, when there's shitty people in all walks of life and they don't get punished for these things. But maybe we should be better. Maybe instead of saying, well, we shouldn't punish these guys because nobody else gets punished, maybe instead we should go the opposite and say, hey, let's start punishing people more for who do horrible things. But
this happens.
It's a complicated subject.
Across all teams, across all sports, there is no easy solution. But I just hope she's okay.
Yeah, the leagues don't care, the teams don't care, and fans don't care. Most fans don't care. The only reason fans were up in arms about Deshaun Watson is because he sucked. If he had played great, most fans wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, it's true.
Some do, certainly. Some. I don't want to put everybody in the same boat. But most people don't care.
Yeah, a lot of people, with Deshaun, a lot of people walked away right away.
Yes. But they were. I bet you most of them would have come back if he had played great. We'll never know because he's not a football player, and he will never be a football player again.
Earl, what would you do on this one?
That's a good question. I think for me, when I looked at this yesterday, if the Browns cut him, there's like a dead cap of $2.69 million if they cut him before June 1st. He just signed a 1-year, $3.25 million deal. Jason is right. They have seen worse, and they didn't release a player before. I think the Browns need to have some type of internal program in place, no matter what the NFL does, that if a player finds himself in this situation, there's consequences to his actions. I don't even really think it should be just singled down into just women. I know when this came out, I don't know which show I was watching, but somebody said something along the lines of, we don't have much information, but if it was a dude, no big deal.
That's what I said. Well,
so that was you?
Yes, because let me clarify.
Let me finish my point because somebody asked me, what would I do? I think a lot of times in the NFL, people want to pick and choose to what they want to have their morale code on a heightened level about. Like, wrong is wrong, assault is assault. You can't just have this energy because it's towards women. You have to have the same energy across the board, and that's a part of the problem why we keep running into these issues.
So, you're right. I should have been more. I should have clarified when I said that. Obviously, assault's assault. If he assaulted a guy, it should be. I'd cut him too. My point was when I said it, and I didn't clarify it, so that was a bad job out of me. What I meant by saying if it was just a fight with another guy, like if you got into a fight with another guy, which happens amongst young men sometimes, if that was, sometimes these things happen amongst guys. That's different than just whatever. He saw a guy on the street, somebody said something to him, so he started beating him up. There's some nuance there. There's no nuance to me when it comes to a woman. It's a different story. So that's how I feel about it. But yes, assault's assault. But there's also, and many of us have been there. You're a young person, and not that he's that young, but I got into fights when I was a teenager. I got into fights in my early 20s. These things happen sometimes with young people. We make stupid decisions. That's different than smashing your girlfriend allegedly against the wall, and there's a big difference there. So, but I should have clarified better. And you're right, Earl. Ultimately, if it's assault, it's assault.
If the Browns do decide to cut him, would anyone bat an eye?
No.
Who
cares?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
All right, Earl.